Good evening, YouTube. This is my way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, usually I don't put out anything late in the evening because usually I try to do it in the morning, the afternoon. But I was busy working on some stuff, and I saw this on IG. I follow certain content makers, especially in the water bodybuilding, and I saw this on RX Muscle, and this is that's the brand by Dave Jumbo Palumbo. And he posted some sad news. And this is something you should hear. If you are a fan of the old school bodybuilding days, classic female bodybuilding, you will be sad. So we had a passing. And it's just been barely a couple of weeks since we had a passing of another lady in the sport of bodybuilding. This one lady is a legend. This is Mrs. Tonya Knight. Now, you remember Tonya from the good part of the 80s. She competed in quite a few shows. She was originally born in Missouri, but then eventually she got into bodybuilding later on in her life after growing up, and being an entertainer, a dancer. She started her career around about the good part of the early 80s. And then she started competing in several shows from 84 until she turned pro around about 86. And she debuted in 1988 at the Pro World Championships. And then later on, she competed at the Olympia in 1988. But because she was caught with tested for steroids, she was disqualified because she took fourth place in that show. Then she came back in 89 and competed at the Miss International, where she won, taking first place. And then the same thing happened. She was tested positive for using steroids. But still, after that, she was 2 years off, hadn't competed for a long time. But eventually what happened, she started on one of the most popular TV shows of the early 80s, of the mid 80s to the 90s, and that was American Gladiator, where she played as one of the gladiators by the name of Gold. And Gold, she was along with other bodybuilders like Ray Holett and also Sherry Beatty. And during her time, she still was in sport of bodybuilding, still competitive. She came back in 91 and competed a couple more, and she competed in another show. And then in 91, she again regained her title as Miss International. She was one of the cover models. She did a lot of cover work. And she was on all the magazines like Flex and Iron Man and Muscle Development. And still, she was still on the American Gladiators from 89 to 92, where because of the injury, she had to leave the show. That was a show which gave footprint for a lot of female bodybuilders. It was way, I think female bodybuilding really was growing because of that show. Because you had people like here, Diamond, you had Gold, and you also Blaze, and some of these ladies were former bodybuilders and athletes. And it was a great show. A show lasted up to about the mid 90s. Then she competed one more time in 93, where she competed at the Jantana. She took third, and after that, she retired. She later on got remarried. She later on got married and had 2 children with her husband, and eventually got divorced. She settled in Kansas for a good while with her and her kids. She has a son and a daughter. From the story I heard from Dave Palumbo, she was battling with cancer, and she lost her battle. Now, she leaves behind 2 children, her son and her daughter, and she leaves a host of friends and family members. She was the only daughter out of 3 brothers, and being the only girl, you have to compete with your 3 brothers. But she was an amazing woman, beautiful female bodybuilder. She was just one of those ladies, the golden goddess of the era, along with people like Sanya Riddell and Corey Everson and Jackie Presley. They were the top line women of the 80s and some more of the 90s. But it's sad to hear that we lose another woman in the sport of bodybuilding, even though she has not competed for nearly 30 years. Her last competition. But it's just, I was a big Tonya Knight fan. I mean, I think she was beautiful. She was amazing, great physique. This is the type of women that really represented sex and flex appeal in sport of bodybuilding. But this is shocking to hear about this lovely lady who has passed away and moved on to the better world. But it's the things that happens in life. But like I said, she leaves behind her 2 adoring children, family and friends, and just a legacy, being a legend of sport of bodybuilding. So I will say to Tonya Knight, rest in peace and God bless. This is me on the George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out. Rest in peace, Tonya.